What up, nerds? We're back here at the IPL5 Korean Qualifiers for League of Legends. We just saw AZUBU plays slay.
Yeah.
I mean, they decapitated Najin Shield.
Yeah, I mean, great game coming from AZUBU.
I mean, it's almost ironic that they're called Shield right now because there's no defense in that series.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on to game number 2 here. What does Shield need to do?
They need, I think what happened last game was they pretty much lost during the pick phase. They picked a sort of unconventional lineup with that Ziggs. I mean, the rest of their team comp was pretty solid, but I feel like if Najin Shield picked a more solid AP carry, such as, I don't know, Anivia even.
Let's talk about the Ziggs pick.
Yeah.
What was that?
Ziggs.
Was that cocky? Was that them attempting to be experimental? Because I didn't feel like we saw any kind of crazy Ziggs play. Ziggs ult, by the way, missed a lot.
Yeah. I mean, Ziggs, his ult, I think only hit maybe a couple times, during the last couple team fights.
And I'm going to be saying this in each game, but I'm not a League of Legends caster. I'm not an expert. I'm just here to drive the show. So my homeboy Andy can drop, the knowledge bombs. Which were landing more than Ziggs' ultimate was in that last game. I can't believe, in Starcraft, for example, occasionally we see somebody get a weird unit composition. We're like, oh, that's an unusual tech. But I saw nothing with the Ziggs play that was.
I think what Najin was trying to do was they're trying to kind of or make a new, well, not make a new meta, but kind of introduce a unconventional pick,
right? So that
because it was the first game and they have some wiggle room.
All right.
Even if they lose the first game, they can still come back. But
all right, time for them to eliminate the players.
Yep. And the first couple bans coming out from each team will be Zillion, Quirky, Kog'Maw, and Cho'Gath. Similar bans coming out. Cho'Gath and Kog'Maw were banned during the first game. They will be the
Sona's now gone.
Yeah, Sona also a ban. Same with Corki. I'm not sure if actually the exact same 3 bans coming out from Najin Shield.
There might be another chance that even in game number 3 we see the exact same bans.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty
Lulu
similar,
first pick.
Yeah, pretty similar bans.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's there's nothing too shocking about that.
Yeah, fairly
Lee
safe.
Shin.
Yep.
I don't know if he's locked in yet, but we'll see. Lee Shin, this is actually not a shocking. And Irelia?
Yeah, Makuza, a great Lee Sin player. I mean, he is renowned. Actually, I think his top 3 junglers would be Amumu, Lee Sin, and I think he's also a pretty good Skarner player. So
okay.
He's actually, I believe he did play Rengar in a previous game, in one of the earlier matches, but he is going to pick up that Rengar pick.
I wouldn't be shocked if they stay with Nocturne here in this pick as well.
Yeah, AZUBU.
Nocturne's so strong.
Yeah, having a great game last game. Irelia will be in the top lane for AZUBU or for Najin Shield.
And we might have a Jax here.
Yep, potential Jax pickup with the Nocturne. Pretty, I wouldn't say similar, but quite a strong team comp so far. Lulu, if Lulu ultimates Jax, I mean, Jax will be pretty much unkillable.
You might have Vayne here instead.
Jump in there, but they did switch that pickup to a
Vayne doing so much damage when you get to the late game.
Definitely.
I'm going to be a new Vayne is carry?
Yep, yeah,
okay,
Vayne's definitely a carry.
Trying to do my homework here, guys.
She's actually considered a super carry.
Okay.
Yeah, so, if Vayne can get her items, then she will become a super carry where she can. Well, she can't 1v5 a team, but pretty much if she has, some protection, she can just annihilate anybody who comes for her. And the Twisted Fate pickup coming out for Najin Shield, really solid pick. Great ganking opportunities from Twisted Fate. He does have that semi-global ultimate, so look out for those. Yeah.
We have a Graves potentially next. Graves great for pushing lanes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that will be a Graves pickup. Najin Shield need their support now. AZUBU with their last 2 picks. They need their mid and they need their top lane. I don't know if they're gonna go with with Jace. Jace is open. Jace, a pretty good laner against Irelia. Malphite's open. We could see a Malphite pickup.
Yep.
For mid, Anivia's open. Diana's open. Let's see. Who else has been a common pickup? And a possible Wukong. Ooh, that would be really interesting.
Am I incorrect in saying Wukong is not as common?
Yeah, Wukong. Yeah, not a common pick.
So it seems like there's some deliberation going on over here with Najin Shield about why don't we go a little bit less unconventional this time, though the team lineup very conventional.
Yeah, pretty conventional. They did pick up the Diana. They did pick up the Jax. Both teams have locked in all 5 of their champions. It will be Tarek on support, supporting Graves in the bot lane. TF mid against Diana. This should be a pretty interesting game. Similar lineups, from the previous game without the super unconventional Ziggs pick. TF pretty conventional, really strong, really good ganker. Nocturne, on the other hand, he does kind of counter global ultimates.
Right.
I know for a fact that Nocturne does counter Shen, because if Nocturne uses his ultimate, Shen cannot use his ultimate Stand United on his allies because he doesn't have vision on them. So even though Najin Shield doesn't have a Shen, it could be helpful against the Twisted Fate because Twisted Fate won't know exactly where to teleport in if he wants to counter gank the Nocturne. However, we might just see Nocturne counter ganking the Twisted Fate. So could go either way. We'll see. Rengar as well, really strong post 6 ganker. He does have that invisibility. He does have that leap, which he can jump on to a member of the AZUBU Blaze. This should be a fairly close game. We'll probably see something similar to the first game where it's going to be very passive early. We won't see much action. Hopefully we'll see action, but I mean...
Well, do you think there's a high chance this game is going to look identical to the last game in the sense that, we got AZUBU Blaze with a high chance of just swooping in there and getting, in the major, 5-on-5 or 4-on-5 or 4-on-4 in situations, AZUBU Blaze potentially coming out on top?
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, AZUBU Blaze, I believe they are the stronger team here.
I mean, really efficient with who's using their Qs and Ws on what.
Yeah. They know who to focus, what to focus.
When you think about the amount of communication going on within that short explosion of time, it's insane.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys practice so much together. It's not even, a lot of times it's not even about talking. Actually, what most of these pro teams do is they have a shot caller. So one member of each team will be the person who makes the calls. So, for example, a team fight breaks out and, it's really hectic, right? So if you have all 5 members saying different things, it's going to be extremely confusing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really, like that in Counter-Strike, too. There's like a team captain or something. It's just
exactly.
like, okay,
focus this guy, move here, do this, do that. It's the same with League of Legends. There's usually one shot caller who calls which champions to focus,
right?
How to position. So it's not during team fights. It's not so.
It's not chaos. It's not. Yeah.
It's very well coordinated. These teams know exactly what to do. They've been playing together for such a long time now that honestly, they don't even need to talk even. I'm pretty sure that even if these teams weren't using a voice chatting system, they could probably still have a pretty solid game. I mean, obviously having the voice communication is much more helpful, but
absolutely
these teams know each other so well that
I think there's this moment where you can kind of feel it out. There's a really famous Starcraft 1 2-on-2 team. It was it could very well have been the best in the world actually, because they beat a lot of Korean pros. It was LJT and Magoo, but they were it was so interesting because I used to I was a ringer for them occasionally. I'd spar against them or occasionally just I'd play with them on that. They never talked.
Really? They
just didn't talk.
Wow.
Or they'd say like three lines early, let's just do this. And then They just like watched each other so well. It was actually insane. They just had it figured out so well. They could read each other beautifully. It was insane.
Yeah. I think it's pretty similar with these teams as well. Yeah, definitely.
Same thing, like you get your shot caller, but then once the action happens, everybody just is on the same page. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty much when a team fight breaks out, it's like, all right, Aurelia. And then all 5 members will attack Aurelia, kill her. It's like, then the next champion, they move on. And then it's pretty systematic.
All right, game number 2 starting. Oh my God.
Yep. These players are loading in. Game 2. Really exciting. The winner of this will move on to Las Vegas for the grand finals.
Where they very well could win the entire thing. The Koreans.
Exactly, yeah.
A lot of people say they're the best. They didn't win the World Championships. They're eager to prove themselves again here. And this game is on.
Yep, this game is underway. AZUBU Blaze versus Najin Shield, game 2.
Now, AZUBU Blaze is going to be in the bottom left, unlike the previous game that we saw here.
Yep, they have switched sides. And let's see here. Fairly, I mean, it looks like a kind of standard opening. Jax actually, on AZUBU's side, yeah. He's doing the same. He's doing the same strategy where he only starts with 1 potion and a ward. So what Jax did, he was playing Irelia in the last game. So what's actually happening is that he only has 1 potion. However, he did pick up that 1 ward. Oh, and the possible engage onto AZUBU Blaze right now.
All right,
but they will just back out.
AZUBU Blaze backs out. Wisely so, because they would have 100% lost that engagement.
Yeah, definitely.
Wards going down everywhere, as you said.
Yep, wards going down. Already like 5 wards down on this map. Najin Shield, fairly standard opening. I believe AZUBU Blaze will have a 2v1 top lane, so they're going to send Vayne and Lulu top lane versus Irelia, and it's going to be Jax versus Graves and Tarek in the bot lane.
All right, now we see them grouping up over here in the middle.
But we might see another invade coming out from Najin Shield. But there is a ward in that river brush, so if Najin Shield decides to invade onto AZUBU Blaze, they will know that they're coming, and AZUBU Blaze countering that with an invade on their own. Yep.
All right, so again, Najin Shield really sticking together here.
Yep, so AZUBU Blaze does know that Najin Shield is in their jungle right now. That ward spotted them. They do know that they're there. And actually, AZUBU Blaze is stealing Najin Shield's red buff right now. AZUBU Blaze don't know that they're there. So this is actually quite surprising and quite funny, actually, because, you know, both teams, you know, invading on each other's jungle. However, one team doesn't know and one team does know. So,
all right, now they're going to come over here and try to get the blue buff.
Yep.
You know, that's, you know, in AZUBU Blaze's territory. And they will get that.
Yep, so pretty standard opening. It will be a 2v1 top lane. And it will be a, 2v1 in the top and bot lane.
And as you can see here, I think so far this game is going to look similar to game number 1 with no major kills.
So actually, I was wrong where, Najin Shield sent their bot lane to the top lane, so it will be a 2v2 in the top lane and a 1v1 in the bot lane. Just a flip-flop. Usually, you know, the bot AD and the support will go to the bot lane. However, both teams did decide to send their bot lanes to the top.
The map is symmetrical, so I mean, you could just reverse it.
Yeah, but actually the main reason why you send your bot duo lane in the bot lane, but actually a possible engage onto Rengar.
Nice
Rengar does flash out, Fear proc does not go off. But the but as I was saying before, the main reason why you send your bot or the duo lane in the bot lane is because of the dragon. You want as many members close to the dragon as possible, so that if a dragon fight does break out, you'll have 4 members there instead of 3. So Rengar taking his blue buff. So Rengar took 2 blue buffs and Nocturne took 2 red buffs. So actually no, Jax took a red buff. So I mean 2 buffs did go to AZUBU Blaze and 2 blue buffs went to Najin Shield.
We've only had one. You're right. You got a hiccup there.
Yeah, sorry. Excuse
me.
We
got it. You're fine. We already have Rengar having burnt out his flash right now. So There is a slight flash advantage here for AZUBU Blaze, much less likely that they're going to lose anything.
Yeah, so both Jax and Nocturne have red buff right now, so if Irelia pokes her head out too far, it could be quite deadly for her. Just Nocturne is waiting very patiently for Irelia right now. Jax just kind of baiting her out. He wants her to gauge onto Irelia, but the fear proc goes on the rail. Irelia, nice flash out.
Yep.
If that fear went off,
they will lose control of that bottom lane. She can't stay there for much longer.
Yeah, she'll probably just clear out that lane and go back. Great gank coming out from Nocturne, but Nocturne actually losing out on a little bit of levels. He's only level 2 compared to Rengar's level 4, so he will have to try and make up. Force level death for the first blood. Going for AZUBU Blaze first blood.
God,
going
AZUBU
down.
Blaze, so commanding. Last game it was what, I think 9.5 minutes before we had first blood.
Yeah. But nice start from AZUBU Blaze.
It's gonna be bad for the morale here. Let's go ahead and check a replay of that. Give us a little bit of an analysis.
Yep. So Irelia engaged onto Jax. However, it was really bad because, I mean, he should have known Nocturne was there because Nocturne just left the lane, so he couldn't have gone too far. Irelia kind of, I believe that was, if I was Irelia, I wouldn't have done that, honestly, because I would have known that, Nocturne was still in the vicinity of that lane. So, Irelia blade surge towards Jax. Jax immediately popped up his stun, and then stunned Irelia. Nocturne flashed in, feared her, and got the first blood. Yeah, so a little bit of misplay. It's not a huge loss, but definitely not a smart play coming out. But possible engage onto Diana here.
Oh.
I believe she will go down to this Ignite.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, the Ignite will take down and take her out. Very nice play coming out. What Mukuza did there actually was he saved up his passive, which allows him every 5th spellcast, I believe, resets his cooldowns. So essentially what happened was he was able to get a double Q proc onto Diana and essentially do an extreme amount of damage onto her, comboed up with the Ignite from Twisted Fate, comboed up with the stun, and basically just took her out. So great play. But a nice engage coming out from Jax. He will get out of there. The Ignite, not enough damage to take him out just yet. He does just ward jump out of there. But, great duels actually coming out here from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This game, a little bit more even here, so far at least.
Yep.
All right, so what should we expect here in the mid lane?
In the mid lane, I mean, usually what happens in competitive games is the mid laners
just get the highest levels.
Yeah, the mid laners just farm as much as possible. They see what Diana is doing right now is she's taking the Wraiths because the Wraiths are fairly easy accessible to the mid laners. So what mid laners will do is they will take those Wraiths to get the level and gold advantage, over their opponent. However, it's such a common strategy now that that's so much part of the metagame. It's like you just don't not do that. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much you have to do that if you want to be a good mid laner. You have to have control over those Wraith camps. It's always a bonus if you can steal the enemy's Wraith camp. And with the changes to the jungle, well, the changes to the jungle happened quite a long time ago, but now in the current metagame, engage onto Diana. Diana will go down to this. Almost got out of there. But
Shield now taking the lead for the first time in any of the games we've seen so far.
Yep. So Najin Shield, great game so far.
Throwing up some wards there. Rengar continuing to move through the jungle.
Yeah, but we'll see a replay of that actually.
All right, so it looks like Diana thought that this was going to be an isolated engagement here.
Yeah, so essentially what happened was, Diana was just trying to ward that upper brush area, but Rengar was there just waiting for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she just got caught out of position. Usually, what I tend to do is I like to ward over the ledge so that I'm not in a dangerous position to potentially get ganked. So
Jax is getting pushed pretty hard down here at the top lane.
But actually, I can understand why Diana did that, because she wanted to an engage onto this bot lane. Twisted Fate did ulti in, but there was no follow-up onto that bot lane. He didn't have enough mana to really throw out enough damage.
It also didn't look like Rengar had gotten close enough to actually do any damage.
Yeah. So, at least they blew Vayne's flash. So, not a horrible exchange. If they executed that a little bit better, they possibly could have got a kill out of it. But no kills just yet. Mukuza coming down here now. Potential gank. He does not have his ultimate, so I don't think he'll be able to come in here.
All the flashes here for Najin Shield are still there.
Yep.
And we're going to have all 4 flashes here in a minute for AZUBU Blaze. Of course, Vayne's flash we just saw burnt off a little while ago. Yep. Pretty neck and neck, though, so far.
Yep. Only a 1k gold advantage for Najin Shield. Nocturne looking up for a top lane gank. Lulu actually coming up here as well. It will be a 3v2 if AZUBU Blaze decides to engage onto Najin Shield. But I don't know if they'll be able to pull this off. I mean, Graves has heal and flash. Tarek also has flash. They're fairly close to the tower. Rengar's in that vicinity as well. So yeah, they will just back out of there. Nocturne moving towards that mid lane. Nocturne really wants to look for it right now because his ultimate is up. But the hard engage onto Jax, but he does get out of there. Although Tarek blew Ignite, it's not a horrible thing. And Nocturne just camping in Najin Shield's jungle. He's waiting for someone to poke their head out just a little bit more so he can use his ultimate to get in there. And Lulu, I'm not sure what he's doing exactly. If he, Jax is so low that, if AZUBU Blaze decides to engage onto Najin Shield, they'll probably lose the engage, even though Lulu has the health buff. I mean, I really don't see a kill coming out in that top lane yet.
Looks like Rengar's going to come in here for
Rengar
possible.
Pulling out his ultimate. He is moving towards that bot lane.
All right, and we're going to have a recall.
But he does get spotted by that ward.
Yeah.
Vayne will know. Yeah, actually, Rengar recently just got nerfed. His ultimate, I believe.
Looks like we're. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, but just the top tower going down.
Yeah, top turret's taken out.
Yeah, but as I was saying, Rengar, his ultimate used to allow him to go into stealth for about, I believe, 8 seconds or so, maybe longer. But But now, but the engage onto Irelia, I don't think Vayne will be able to take her out. A little bit too tanky. Vayne will most likely just push this lane out and go back to...
Lulu's down, meeting up with Vayne down here at the bottom. Nocturne coming down as well.
Yeah, but a possible dive onto Irelia. They might just push this tower in and then potentially dive this Irelia. Rengar does realize this, so he's just camping in the area just in case they do.
Okay, so they're going to let this lane get pushed a little bit here.
Yeah, but they're not going to risk that dive just yet.
No, Nocturne's already evacuated that area.
Yeah.
And actually, the bottom lane overall is going to be fairly kind of generic for the time being, since there's not many occupants down there.
Yep. As I was saying before, Rengar's ultimate, I believe it used to allow him to stealth for 8 seconds or so, but now it only allows him to stealth for 6. So a little bit harder for him to get ganks in, if he decides to engage with his ultimate. But I mean, I think what Rengar needs to do is he needs to combo up a gank with Twisted Fate. If Twisted Fate can teleport in, get a gold card stun onto one of these members, exactly like I was saying. He does get the stun onto Vayne. Vayne does get stun, and so much damage going out, and a nice kill coming out from Najin Shield. They have to combo up their stuns. They can't just rely on one stun to take out a member of AZUBU Blaze. They have to combo it up with, for example, the Twisted Fate gold card with the Tarek stun. They need these combos to take out these champions. Even though Vayne popped heal, even though Lulu used her ultimate on Vayne, there's just too much damage coming out.
Yeah, it looks like middle turret, I should say, has now been taken out.
Yep. So AZUBU Blaze kind of countering that bot lane gank with the hard push mid.
It does look like the gold's going to be 16.1K here for AZUBU Blaze and 18K flat here for Najin Shield.
Yep. Yeah, slight gold lead for Najin Shield right now. They might.
They're at the levels now. They could go for Dragon.
Yeah, they might be trying to force out this Dragon, but I don't think they are strong enough just yet. You know, all 5 members or all 10 members are kind of in the vicinity of that Dragon area. So if either team decides to go for that Dragon, all 10 members will be ready to respond for that engagement. All right, Nocturne throwing on the pink ward, clean out that vision. Yeah, but a potential 5-man gank onto this bot lane right now. They're also looking to do this Dragon. Yeah, it looks like.
All right, and here comes now Najin Shield. AZUBU Blaze slightly behind, trying to get that gold back up so that they can gain some kind of a lead here. Yeah, and it looks like they go ahead and back off, saying, well, Dragon's not low enough.
Yeah,
you know, the Dragon could be ganked from them fairly easily.
AZUBU Blaze, you know, they try to start that Dragon, but they realized that all 5 members of Najin Shield were there, so they didn't want to risk a fight where Dragon was hitting, you know, their team with Najin Shield also right there to damage them. So, you know, smart move coming out from AZUBU Blaze, realizing that it would have been a hard fight to win. Wisely backing out. Some more farming just coming out. I mean, you know, both teams know that this next Dragon, or I believe it's the first Dragon actually. Neither team has gotten Dragon so far.
No, neither of them have gone for Dragon yet.
Yeah, so you know the first Dragon always important, but nice stun going out to Vayne. Oh, comboed up with the gold card. This might be a double kill. Will be a double kill for Najin Shield. Actually, hard engage. Yeah, Twisted Fate will go down from the Ignite. Same with Diana. This is not looking good. Nocturne going hard onto Graves. Graves has low mana. Two quick draw out of there. Yep. Oh, but he has just enough mana to get out of there. But
Shield still on the run.
But Graves will go down to that Nocturne. And I believe
Tarek is going to go down for sure, I believe.
Yeah, I don't see him getting out of this. Yeah.
Wow, really nicely done.
Not looking good.
And that's the AZUBU Blaze that I love to cast. So coordinated. Now going to take out the Dragon. They could push these lanes a little bit harder. They're probably going to go clean up mid right after this.
Yep. So brilliant execution from AZUBU Blaze. So even though Najin Shield were the aggressors, AZUBU Blaze brilliantly countered that gank with a gank of their own. You know, Nocturne was there to back him up. Yeah. Diana was there to back him up.
It was a good gank opening up for Najin Shield, but then it looks like they actually ended up boxing themselves into that location.
Exactly. Yeah,
that turret, the turret was had not been destroyed at bottom lane, so it's like, where are you going to run out? What are you going to do?
Yeah, there's only one way of escape, and AZUBU Blaze capitalized on that situation and were able to almost ace Najin Shield. They took out 4 members of Najin Shield.
Yeah, Irelia was the one who escaped.
With also pick up the Baron. The gold lead still in Najin Shield's favor. However, AZUBU Blaze right on their tail. Only about 1,000 gold differential right now. Not a big margin at all. You know, both these teams are still in it. You know, but this is where this is where AZUBU Blaze really shines, is this mid to late game. Is where, you know, when the team fights break out, AZUBU Blaze is the team to look out for.
Yeah, they're the ones, they're the drunken masters.
Yep. Yeah, so possible engage. So yeah, Irelia engaged onto Diana. Diana actually counter engaging onto Irelia. Diana really strong right now. Irelia taking out really low. If Diana had Ignite,
yeah, I was gonna say she would have been dead.
Irelia would have definitely died. Unfortunately,
but it's good they at least pushed her back now. Now pushing middle lane pretty heavily here.
Yeah, but they did blow Irelia's flash, so no, not a bad exchange at all. And
Rengar just continuing to jungle right now.
Just counter jungling the wolves.
And wow, they're actually sucking up everything in the jungle.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
And that's how you do it. Once you take out one of their players or even force them to flash back and they have to recall, that's when you want to chew up the jungle.
Yeah, but potential dive onto Najin Shield. They are going to dive onto Najin Shield right now. They do go heavy onto Graves. Graves TF also coming in. A nice E coming out for Diana. Stunning or slowing 3 members of Najin Shield right now. But actually, Najin Shield coming up to back up their allies. Diana will go down to that Ignite. They're chasing Vayne right now. Vayne will be able to get out of this. Great counter gank coming out from Najin Shield. It was a 1-for-1 exchange, but I mean, it could have potentially, yeah, but actually it's a 2-for-1 exchange now.
So yeah, it was not very good.
Yeah, so Lulu was just kind of stuck there. She had no way of getting out, so she just kind of, yeah, pretty much just suicided and you know.
Might as well just get it over with so you can get back out into the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
So this game actually is a lot of back and forth. I like it. It looks like Najin Shield with a slight gold lead and a slight kill lead. 26.1 to 26.9 and then 6 kills to 7.
Yep. Najin Shield still with the slight lead. You know, that last engagement, pretty good. You know, AZUBU Blaze, it was kind of a mirror engage from the previous gauge that Najin Shield did onto AZUBU Blaze. Like, Najin Shield dived that tower to try and kill Vayne and Lulu, and then got counter ganked and lost 4 members of their team. And then AZUBU Blaze came around and dove Najin Shield, and then lost that engagement. So, oh, but a nice engage onto Diana. Diana, I believe, should go down to this. She's trying to take out. She tried to go down, you know, to go for a 1-for-1 exchange. However,
so turn take on Twisted Fate, right?
Yeah, but Twisted Fate just throwing out that gold card, stunning her, not allowing her to pick up that kill.
Right now, I gotta say, Shield is slowly but surely pushing AZUBU Blaze into the corner of the map right now and getting higher levels and more gold.
Yeah. You know, great showing coming out from Najin.
You know, the engagements, it's not as common for AZUBU Blaze to have 5 players out at once.
Yeah.
Which is kind of making the whole map not a safe place here. As long as Najin Shield has all of its players still alive.
Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah, but this is a pretty back and forth match right now. I believe Dragon also should be spawning fairly shortly, so look out for a Dragon fight in the next couple minutes. Diana going up to this top lane to clear out those minions. You want to keep your lanes pushed. You want to keep that map control. You want to have pressure on all your lanes. And Mokuza right there. He did lose his Oracle, so he doesn't have one. No Oracles on Najin Shield side. I don't know if AZUBU Blaze has an Oracles. I want to pan over to Nocturne and see if he has that Oracles, but you know, map control is everything in this game. If you know where your enemy is, you will have the upper hand. You know, and
well, I think they've done a better job this time around. Najin Shield has of bullying off sentries.
Yeah, but actually, yeah. Oh, so Tarek actually picked up an Oracle. So, both teams have Oracles right now.
Okay, so both is trying to cause lights out here on the map for the opposing team.
Exactly. Yep. And just trying to get that map presence. I really moving towards the top lane. A big wave pushing up in that top lane. You know, Najin Shield don't want to lose out on that farm, but AZUBU Blaze, set up for this dragon right now. Najin Shield is not in the position to contest this, and they are gonna counter this dragon.
Oh, they're 100% gonna get this dragon first, though.
Yeah, Najin Shield kind of countering that dragon with the mid push.
But we could have an engagement over here. The turret will be able to. All right, this is gonna be pivotal here. We got a 5-on-5.
Yeah, engagement onto Vinyl Cat. Vinyl Cat will get melted immediately. They are going to just keep going onto Najin Shield right now. Najin Shield not looking good. Rengar will go down. 2 members of Najin Shield going down.
Still on the run right now.
3 members of Najin Shield on the run.
It looks like now AZUBU Blaze is going to regroup over here in the middle and push that lane. No, now fanning out and cleaning up the jungle. Some recalling.
Yep.
Nicely done there. Yeah. And again, here's the scary part is when we get to this point in time in the game where you're moving around in more of a mob and you're less spread out, that's where AZUBU Blaze tends to shine.
Yep, exactly. AZUBU Blaze, you know, at least from experience or in past showings, they are the stronger team fighters. You know, Najin Shield will have to cannot make mistakes, you know, if they want to secure this game. Actually, AZUBU is coming out now on top in the gold lead. AZUBU with a slight gold advantage now compared to Najin Shield. Najin Shield were the ones with the gold lead up until that past fight where AZUBU were able to take out 2 members of Najin Shield. And what Najin Shield need to do right now is they need to abuse their single target burst damage. You know,
nuking them.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of like both teams have very good single target not assassin, but I guess single target.
They all fire their abilities at once. They will nuke one of those characters.
Yeah, and AZUBU is doing a great job of that in the previous fight. They just singled out Tarek, took him down immediately, and then followed up with that focus onto Rengar. Oh, excuse me, I'm burping a lot today.
Nah, yeah, it happens to me sometimes, baby. The worst if you actually have to cast and you have the hiccups. You're like, oh god.
Oh man, that would be horrible.
That was terrible. I'm like, get over here. I sound like the town drunk right now and trying to cast this game. All right, so they're going to go for blue. It looks like Najin Shield now coming down here. They get the blue, though, on the run right now.
Engage onto the Aina. Twist Fate does teleport in, but he will back out from that. AZUBU now looking to position themselves in a better position to try and take on Najin Shield. Najin Shield, but a nice engage onto Twist Fate. He gets out of position, he gets taken out now. Immediately, they are focusing down onto Irelia. Irelia would take it out immediately as well.
Vayne 2 kills taken out there.
Yeah, 2 kills going out onto AZUBU. AZUBU's amazing team fighting skills. I mean, Najin Shield just pretty much just getting outclassed right now. You know, Najin Shield just can't respond to the focus of AZUBU.
All right. Now, again, with that engagement, it looks like bottom lane's going to be pushed forward. Mid lane, they're also moving here. The turret 100% going to go down here.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Yep, so the 4th tower going down now for AZUBU. 3 towers, as Najin Shield took out 3 towers, you know, for themselves. The gold advantage now almost 3K in favor of AZUBU. AZUBU now looking very strong, very scary. I am not sure what Najin Shield can do right now. I mean, they're trying to get engaged where they're trying to single out targets of AZUBU, but what AZUBU realizes is that, you know, Najin Shield doesn't have an AoE team comp. You know, neither team right now has an AoE team comp, so both teams know that they have to single out targets on the opposing teams.
Right.
Yeah.
So at this point in time, it's important that nobody dies. I know it sounds corny, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
the key players that will be targeted do not die.
Exactly. You know, both teams realize that they are heavily single target damage based, and that, you know, they have to catch, you know, the opposing team members out of position. They have to focus them down one by one. They can't be split up. Unlike the first game where Najin Shield had an AoE team comp, it switched up to a single target now. So, you know, both teams have a single target team comp where they're more of a duelist, but a possible engage onto Diana. They are singling out Diana. Diana will Zhonya's, negaining a lot of damage from that. Lulu ultimate does go that. She does flash out of that as well. Noxian also going in, but he does flash out as well. Lulu again taking out really low. Lulu will go down to the Tarek. Nice focus coming out from Najin Shield. This is exactly what both teams have to do. They have to focus down single targets. They need to isolate targets and take them down one by one.
Well, they're doing the smart thing here because the supports in this phase of the game are always lower on levels.
Yeah.
You know, it's because of the way the game works, the way it's going to pan out. So, really smart move here. They saw Lulu was at the edge. They said, all right, let's melt her.
And they realized that Lulu also didn't have her ultimate. So, great focusing coming out from Najin Shield. I mean, this is still looking quite back and forth right now.
No, it's definitely a pendulum match here.
Yeah, you know, it's all gonna come down to positioning, how these two teams position themselves. You know, it's all gonna come down to who can get the better focus, and which team makes the least mistakes. You know, which team can position themselves better, and which team can capitalize on the opposing team's small position.
I think they're going to go for Dragon down here.
Yeah,
Blaze really knows how to bum rush the Dragon. They are so smart about this.
Yeah, they are spot on with their Dragon timing.
They're really good at bullying the other team back and making them recall 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
and then boom, going to go down to the Dragon. You want to come back and chase me? That's fine. We're going to kill you too.
Yep. Great way to put it. As AZUBU Blaze is top lane actually pushing out, so they are going to send Vayne to push that out. Twisted Fate, on the other hand, in the bot lane, pushing out this bot lane.
Oh, and we might have them going for the Baron up here.
Possible Baron. I don't know if they can go for this yet because, you know, all 5 members of Najin's Shield are up. So if the AZUBU Blaze decides to go for this Baron, it's going to be extremely risky. The only way they could go for this Baron is if they sneakily clear out all the wards, or if they see 1 or 2 members of Najin's Shield, pushing bot lane, then AZUBU Blaze could potentially go for the Baron. But until a major team fight, where one team comes out heavily on top, I don't think we'll see a Baron attempt, anytime. Well, we might see it soon if a team fight happens, in the near future. However, I believe until that next team fight, we won't see any Baron attempts. Yeah, just TF ultimate going down to scout where the enemies are.
We have Twisted Fate coming over here, but not too impactful in this game.
Yep.
As Diana does back up.
So blue has spawned on Najin's Shield side. AZUBU Blaze do want to contest this. Blue buff. I don't believe... Yeah, Najin's Shield also want to try and contest this. However, I believe AZUBU Blaze do have a slight position advantage.
Taking some hits though.
They will go engage really hard onto AZUBU Blaze. Rengar getting taken out. Jackson taken out. Zani's getting popped by Diana. Diana will not go down. Diana's shield going down. Nox again taken down as well. Crazy team fight right now. So many members going down. Oh my lord. 4 members of AZUBU Blaze going down. Great team fight from Najin's Shield.
And it does look like now we're just going to have Twisted Fate here, Graves, and Irelia.
Yeah,
Irelia. Am I saying this right? Irelia? I don't know why I haven't heard the name.
Irelia. Right. Yeah, same thing.
All right, so they can try to push. Looks like they're going to potentially push middle lane, but it looks
a replay of this fight.
All right, here we go.
So what AZUBU Blaze did is they went really hard onto Najin's Shield. Diana did get stunned, and Lulu did ultimate Nocturne. However, I believe Lulu should have used the ultimate onto Jax. Jax was the one that was in Najin's Shield's face, the one taking the most damage. Lulu, a little bit of misplay, I believe. If Lulu got that ultimate onto Jax, I think AZUBU Blaze could have come out on top in that team fight. Jax just got taken out way too fast during that. Jax is a huge damage threat, and if Lulu had used her ultimate onto Jax, AZUBU Blaze could quite have potentially taken that fight home. But, I mean, we'll never know. We can't exactly go back in time and, change it, but...
if we could, that's what I'd go back. Go back and kill Hitler or whatever people say they need to do with the time machines. If you go back and check out that. Lulu's in trouble right
Lulu
now.
Will just get taken out right now.
Wow, that was...
And a possible, they will start this Baron. They do realize Jax was in that bot lane. This might be a free Baron for Najin's Shield. Only 3 members of AZUBU Blaze here to try and contest this. Yeah, Baron taken down.
Is there any possibility of a snipe?
This will, first Baron of the game, going to Najin's Shield. Now, Najin's Shield coming back. A really back and forth game.
Yeah, Najin's Shield, though, has been in the lead more than, these other, the other game that we casted earlier here before this one. Now Najin's Shield moving down here, eager to break that bottom middle turret. And then punish the inhibitor, and it looks like this turret is going to go down 100%. Continuing to push forward right now is Najin's Shield, and looks like they're going to try to defend the best they can.
The hard engage not the hard engage, but a slight engage onto Nocturne, but Nocturne will get out of there.
Here's the question, though. Is Najin Shield going to back up, regroup, wait for the next lane, and push in there?
Yeah,
or are they going to try to, maybe go steal everything in the jungle? Because you get this far and you get aced, let's say Blaze aces you, they're going to push right back up there into your lane and get your inhibitor.
Exactly. So what AZUBU Blaze, or what Najin Shield realized is that, I mean, their lanes are pushing. So if you look at Najin Shield's top lane, there's a heavy wave, but a nice engage, nice pickup from Najin Shield. It looks like they are just going to push this mid and get this mid inhibitor now. They will not have that Lulu, AZUBU Blaze will not have Lulu available for this next team fight. It will be a 4v5 in favor of Najin Shield.
Najin Shield does not have their minions with them just yet.
Yeah, Najin Shield looking really strong.
They're going to get this no problem.
Yeah, this is
Boom.
Free inhibitor. Najin Shield's top lane getting pushed heavily right now. They will have to send at least one member up there to clear this out.
And now they're going to fork out here.
Yeah.
Everybody going to any jungling areas where you can just you get more gold, get more XP. It does look like we have a AZUBU Blaze coming up here now. It does look as though they have neglected a little bit of the top lane here. Najin Shield has, so they're going to come up there and clear that up when they can.
Yep, so Irelia is clearing out that top lane. Dragon has spawned. AZUBU Blaze perfect with their timing. They will pick up this Dragon uncontested. Okay, this should equalize the gold. Yeah, both teams 100 gold differential right now.
Wow.
Neck and neck. I mean, this game cannot get any closer. This has been such a back and forth match right now. Yeah, either team can win this. However, Najin Shield with the Baron buff. Slight advantage. No, AZUBU Blaze don't want to fight Najin Shield right now.
Yeah, AZUBU Blaze might have to turtle.
Yeah, definitely have to turtle. They did lose that mid inhibitor, so their mid lane will be getting pushed quite heavily with the super minions.
And as you can see now, we have the rest of our AZUBU Blaze players out. We're getting a good number of these guys maxed out right now, with the exception of the supports who are both at 14.
Yeah, so this is getting to that late game phase where most of the champions will have their core items completed, building towards that late game. 2 Guardian Angels, almost 3 Guardian Angels coming out on AZUBU Blaze's side. On Najin Shield's side, we have a potential 3 Guardian Angels also coming out fairly soon, I believe.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and push down here in the bottom lane. Jax is trying to push up. And as I spoke too soon, Jax is now recalled and is back with the rest of the group. The minions coming up here. Note the turret is at about half health.
Yep, so Twisted Fate with that Lich Bane, able to poke down turrets very, very fast. Lich Bane damage does go into towers, so if they do decide to push this tower, they should be able to get this quite easily. They do stop Baron buff. Baron buff with about... Yeah, it actually just did run out. So Najin Shield does not have Baron. Does not have the Baron buff on them anymore.
Najin Shield has to be careful not to overextend here.
Exactly.
We know AZUBU Blaze, they're just waiting for them to feed into him. By the way, the center turrets guarding the Nexus are being hit.
Yeah, so mid lane being pushed fairly heavily. I mean, I think AZUBU Blaze have to give up this turret, fairly soon because of their lanes pushing. Top lane also pushing very hard. Yeah, I think the smart move would be for AZUBU Blaze just to back out and
just sack the turret.
Yeah, and just defend their other lanes. Yeah, it looks like they are just
That's what they're going to
do. Yeah, they're just going to back out. They do realize that their other 2 lanes are pushing very heavily, and they do need to defend that. And Najin Shield just continuing to pressure this bot lane. Heavy poke coming out from Twisted Fate.
All right, and looks like they're happy with the amount that they pushed there. They're going to go ahead and head up. Well, we have one of them pinging down there. Oh, looks like they want to get red first.
Yeah, so the buffs on the AZUBU Blaze's side have spawned, and Najin Shield will pick up those buffs, and they will back out of there. They did pick up some gold from that tower kill. I don't believe they picked up any kills, but they do have some gold that they need to spend for those items. The first Guardian Angel coming out on Najin Shield's side. A potential... Nope, Rengar does not have enough money to pick up a Guardian Angel of his own. TF also building towards that Guardian Angel. 3 Guardian Angels now on AZUBU Blaze's side. Very scary. even if those players go down, they will respawn during those team fights. This is a extremely close game right now. It could go either way. It's all going to come down to how well both these teams can position themselves and focus down the enemy team.
Yeah, I think I gotta commend Blaze. They've done a good job of playing the defense, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, but Najin Shield looking much stronger than the first game.
Oh, yeah. No, they've definitely stepped up their game plan. I think you said it right when you said they had a weird hero composition, champion composition, excuse me. And now with a more traditional champion composition, they seem to be in good shape.
Yep, exactly. Baron should be spawning in the next minute or so. Najin Shield grouping up for that Baron. They do realize that AZUBU Blaze is not in the position to know when this Baron is coming up. I don't believe AZUBU Blaze have this Baron.
Well, they have it beautifully warded. Well, just warded. I mean, there's going to be no limit of surprise here. Now it does look like AZUBU Blaze is pushing up through the middle lane. The Baron not here yet.
It should be spawning in the next couple seconds. Let's see. And actually, AZUBU Blaze also realizing that when this Baron is going to come up. A lot of wards, from Najin Shield. They know exactly where AZUBU Blaze is. They are camping in this blue buff area. Najin Shield do not know where AZUBU Blaze does not know where Najin Shield is.
Yeah, and it looks like now.
But a very smart play coming out.
Okay, they're going to pull them forward, and they could probably get that turret. And if AZUBU Blaze wins after taking out this turret, this engagement.
Oh my lord! Yeah, this is going to be a great engagement because AZUBU Blaze realizing that Najin Shield was trying to bait out AZUBU Blaze into coming out for that Baron.
This is going to be pivotal.
Yeah, and they countered that with just a straight mid lane push. They realized that if Najin Shield went for that Baron, they would. Essentially, what happened was they gave up a free inhibitor because Najin Shield was trying to bait out that Baron fight. But AZUBU Blaze, very wisely.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Very wisely baited out that mid lane fight. Got that inhibitor. This is actually very funny because AZUBU Blaze is in Najin Shield's base right now.
They're basically stuck there right now.
Yeah, Najin Shield.
There's going to have to be an engagement here. And know that the minions are coming out here.
Yeah, Najin Shield can't even go into their own base because this is such a flip-flop right now. That we should see a team fight break out quite soon. Both teams know this next team fight is going to be extremely crucial. Jax running in there right now. I think what Najin Shield should do is just push down AZUBU Blaze's mid tower because it is an open inhibitor. But they engage onto AZUBU Blaze. Nocturne going in, Nocturne ulti going down. Rengar will take down Vayne. Jax will take down Graves. Great fight coming out. Tarek also getting taken down. First Guardian Angel coming down from AZUBU Blaze. Also Tia very low. Another GA going down. Two GAs going down. Irelia also taking down really low. Irelia going in. Irelia will get taken down. Jax taking down really low, but he does have that Guardian Angels.
What?
And Twisted Fate still alive.
Oh my god.
AZUBU Blaze coming on top.
Unbelievable. AZUBU Blaze played from somewhat of a deficit off and on this game. And let me tell you something, Twisted Fate is not even out of the woods yet.
Yeah, this looks like an ace.
Yep. See you in hell, nerd.
Yep. Ace for AZUBU Blaze. AZUBU Blaze
now going to go for the Baron.
Top. They do have three members up.
They don't have Vayne out here, but they still can do more than enough damage to go ahead and take out the Baron.
Yeah, so now AZUBU Blaze looking like they have a commanding lead right now. They will be able to take down this Baron. Gold lead in AZUBU Blaze's favor right now. And AZUBU Blaze still having 3 Guardian Angels. None of AZUBU Blaze's Guardian Angels were popped.
That's
AZUBU Blaze,
insane.
Yeah, that is insane actually. I'm mesmerized by how well they team fought.
Yeah, and now they're probably just going to push top lane or bottom lane.
Yeah.
And this, I got to say, this is going to be very tough here for AZUBU Blaze to lose, at least for the next 6 minutes.
I honestly, I'm about to call this game because AZUBU Blaze have 4 Guardian Angels right now active on their
you think of how much time they spend this game. Well, Najin Shield is building up their Guardian Angels.
Yeah, I mean, even though Najin Shield also have 4 Guardian Angels, 2 Guardian Angels were popped in that last team fight. So only 2 Guardian Angels will be available to Najin Shield in the next team fight. However, AZUBU will have 4 Guardian Angels. So essentially, it's pretty much going to be a 9 versus 7.
Insane.
If you count the Guardian Angels. So, I mean, AZUBU is extremely in an extremely commanding lead right now. I really honestly can't see AZUBU losing this next team fight because of the amount of Guardian Angels on their team.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
I just don't see them losing this.
Yeah,
and you can see now it looks like Najin, AZUBU Blaze is actually going to be organizing over here at bottom lane. They take out the turret.
Vayne actually kind of getting caught out right here. Vayne going out, getting Tarek down as well. Vayne will go down right now. She does have Guardianos. However, Nox also coming in. Diana and Jax coming in to back her up. Najin in a lot of trouble right now. This might be an ace. A lot of focus going down. Vayne will go down. A lot of focus going down onto Irelia. Irelia trying to make it out of there. A lot of members of Najin Shield going down really low. Rengar really low, Tarek really low.
Again, beautifully executed there by AZUBU Blaze. It's a video there. I have seen Shield's doing a good job. Oh, hold that thought. Rengar goes down.
But an amazing play from Diana. Diana's so strong right now.
They're doing such a good job. Najin Shield is targeting down Vayne, but the problem is they're not closing the rest of it out.
Yeah, exactly. So what AZUBU Blaze is just doing right now is they're just pushing mid straight up. They realize that 3 members of Najin Shield
all right, I think this is going to be GG here.
Yeah, this could quite potentially be GG. They're focusing heavily on this mid inhibitor.
They're continuing to push here.
This mid Nexus.
It looks like Irelia might be going down here too.
Yeah.
But the Nexus
will go down. Game 2. Going to AZUBU Blaze. Holy smokes.
That was sexy.
That was an insane game.
That was so sick. I was really impressed by that. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think AZUBU Blaze turtled when they had to turtle.
Yeah.
Again, they're just winning those end game engagements. We did notice twice Vayne was taken out in the last 2 major engagements. But here's the problem: is that you're right. You want to get rid of Vayne. Vayne deals so much damage, but you have to then finish up the rest of the deal. You can't actually just kill Vayne and hope that everything works out well. So. Really beautifully played there by AZUBU Blaze.
Yeah,
and
that was actually a really close game, but
I thought when I saw Vayne go down early on, I thought, in that last engagement, I thought, oh no, because AZUBU Blaze wasn't even as well organized. You just saw them kind of jumping in there, but they turned that surprise engagement into an advantage. They won it. They didn't waste any time pushing top or bottom anymore. Walked straight to the 2 turrets with the super minions pushing forward and destroyed the Nexus.
Yeah, but I think what AZUBU Blaze was trying to do, I think, was they had Baron buff, so they wanted to really fight. And I guess essentially what they were doing is they were using Vayne as bait. So they were baiting Najin Shield into a fight that they Najin Shield was like, oh my god, we can potentially
there's Vayne, go get Vayne.
We can potentially insta-give Vayne, take out Vayne and win this team fight, but AZUBU Blaze right there to back him up.
It was impressive. Well, either
crazy game.
Either Najin Shield is going to have the comeback of the century against this very scary Korean team, quite possibly the best Korean team, at least right now, looking like it. We're going to go take a quick little break. Stay tuned.